We are a research team from the University of Waterloo studying China's changing food system. If you don't know much about China, or the city of Nanjing, or food systems, join us for a virtual food tour of Nanjing, China.
Nanjing is located in the Yangtze River Delta, 300 kilometers from Shanghai. It covers 2,500 square miles and a population of 8.2 million, and is the 13th largest city in China. Nanjing is economically prosperous due to its rapidly developing industries and is also politically significant as a military base. Serving as the capital for 6 Chinese dynasties and kingdoms, Nanjing has a rich history and culture. For example, in the famous book Farmers of 40 Centuries, the magnificent picture of farmers moving mud from the Grand Canal to crop fields was taken in Nanjing. The book documents how Chinese farmers maintain soil fertility in traditional agriculture by mixing mud with animal manure and biomass, such as leftover stocks after crops were harvested, and also plenty of other so-called circular farming or nutrient cycling methods adopted by traditional farmers to maximize the use of resources and agricultural output. So let's go to explore agriculture and food in Nanjing.
After the economic restructuring in the 1970s, China embarked on a market food economy and began to adopt Western agricultural methods, techniques, and treatments. From field to table, our food practices made a transition towards a modern industrial food system, just as what you see in Canada. Farms scale up, synthetic inputs in use, and monoculture replaces multi-cropping. This transition wasn't for nothing. The industrialization process contributed to an output 5 times higher than 4 decades ago and lifted 700 million people out of extreme poverty and hunger. However, you probably have heard of air pollution in Beijing. Just as how China's development takes a toll in the environment, its agriculture develops at the expense of environment and food quality. To give an example, before the transition, in the 1980s, China used 3% of the world's fertilizers, and now it's 29%. It has the lowest efficiency in nitrogen use, which causes eutrophication and soil pollution.
Alongside food production, food consumption and retailing are also shifting. Before the 1990s, you wouldn't find a single supermarket in China. At that time, the most common food outlet was open street food markets. Similar to farmers' markets in Canada, street markets sell food transported directly from farms. Today, Walmart and Carrefour are ubiquitous, and traditional markets are required to dress up like supermarkets and install inspection rooms that allow employees to conduct food safety tests. As not all consumers trust the vendors and brands, building a transparent and traceable information system helps allay people's food anxieties. But buying food at these renovated and modern-looking food markets costs more than it used to.
People in China are adopting new eating habits and cuisines. Chinese food is much more than General Tso's chicken and fortune cookies. In fact, these were both invented in North America, and today they are being introduced into China. In urban China, food cultures and fads are frequently reinvented as consumers never stop seeking new flavors. Fast food chains have mushroomed around the country. Today, Western fast food chains compete with Chinese chains. Chinese fast food brands feature a few archetypal dishes, including braised chicken rice, spicy noodles, and bento packages. Sugary beverages even change more frequently than fast food. Almost every year, a new type of beverage rises to fame and becomes a must-try among young urbanites. This year, for example, the trendy drink is cream cheese topping tea. Cheese is whipped with cream to create a foamy texture on top of the tea. Consumers have to line up for at least 1 hour to make a purchase. In contrast to the long lines for these drinks, China has developed a convenient delivery service, and most consumers can order food online and have it delivered to their home in less than an hour. Especially among young college students and professionals, food delivery is popular because many of them live in a kitchenless space.
Although the current modernized and fast food system is convenient in many ways, it also triggers enormous food anxiety among consumers. Food safety and related health concerns have been rampant, the most serious being the infamous food scandal of melamine-tainted infant formula that caused many children to be hospitalized. Another issue facing Chinese citizens is anxiety linked to fast-paced lifestyles, as more and more urban residents face incredible stress and have little free time, including for food preparation and enjoyment. As a result, there is an emerging nostalgia for rural lifestyles, closer relationships with people and nature, slow food, and so on.
One response to these concerns has been to seek out organic and ecologically grown food, to avoid the risks of pesticide residues, and to reconnect with nature and how our food is grown. What does this look like? It can take different forms. On the one hand, we can find large-scale farms with uniform and standard farming fields and greenhouses. Thanks to organic development programs and government funding, more and more large-scale organic farm enterprises are able to enter the market. But in China, getting organic certification is expensive and bureaucratic, and government supports tend to go to larger farms, while smaller farms are left out.
On the other hand, there are smaller and medium-scale farms that grow uncertified organic food using a variety of production methods. This farm is using architectural designs to maximize production space and enhance mutual benefits between plants. This one is using fermentation bed techniques for pig raising so that excrement from pigs can become biofertilizers, and pigs are healthier. This farm constructs worm factories on farm to recycle organic waste and cultivate earthworms. And there are also other methods like increasing biodiversity, mixed farms with crops and livestock, on-farm composting, and natural farming in which farmers rarely use synthetic inputs.
Another way to target food concerns is growing one's own food, which is more popular and doable in rural areas of China. Although use of agrochemicals has become widespread across Chinese farms since the 1980s, many rural households are still practicing ecological or non-chemical farming for their own consumption. Rural households are also typically raising free-range chicken. Chicken are important elements for the circular farming system. They can run everywhere to loosen the soil, eat pests, and fertilize the soil with their manure. How can consumers find this type of food? Organic farmers are seeking new ways of marketing their food. For example, farms will deliver food ordered online directly to clients' homes. Farmers establish personal social media accounts for direct sales and marketing. And due to the convenient delivery network across China, organic rice and prepared food could be delivered across the country just within a few days.
Organic farms also offer on-farm entertainment activities such as grape picking and open-air kitchens, as well as food education for children. During our visits, we saw one farm that invited visiting families to build a wooden treehouse. For urban residents, nature is distant. Farm visits and hand-picking farm vegetables give consumers a chance to escape from the urban smog and traffic and reconnect with nature.
When visiting these farms, we were offered treats of traditional Chinese food made from freshly picked vegetables and rice. Without the commercial doses of salt, sugar, and oil, the farmers' food tastes different. In the dishes, the flavor of the vegetables themselves is more pronounced, and the freshness and texture are easier to appreciate. China has a wide range of dishes and cuisines, and each region in China has its own food culture and traditions of cooking. Food from Nanjing, the city you see here, is part of the Su cuisine. Mild in spice, soft in texture, balanced in taste, and harmony in colors are the defining feature of Nanjing food.
Looking forward, China's food system is dynamic. Its population is growing and urbanizing. By the year 2030, China will have another 200 million residents move to live in cities. That's more than 5 times Canada's population. More land and water resources will be diverted to serve city residents. On top of these demographic pressures, urban diets include more meat and dairy products and processed foods, all of which have a larger ecological footprint than traditional diets. Combining these demographic and ecological factors, China's food system is pressured to become more resource efficient. Meanwhile, urban residents will demand food of better quality and safety standards, both of which create more opportunities for organic farms. Do you expect more ecologically produced food to play a larger role in China's food system? Do you think China's food policy should prioritize the quantity-centered conventional food sector or the quality-centered organic food sector? Leave your vote now to let us know.